What's up guys, this is Dustin Lang. I felt like a fitting first video would be where I shared about my relationship with God and how my faith in Him started. For as long as I can remember, I've been going out to church. My mom would bring me and my sister out every single Sunday, and I remember sometimes I'd be interested and other times not so much. And in the times that I was not interested, I remember I would sneak out of service with a friend where we would hide in this one place in the church until service was over and then slowly make our way back. But there was this key moment the summer after 7th grade where I went to a basketball camp. I thought I was going there so I could learn more about the game and grow my skills, but it was actually a Christian basketball camp. And so there were these nightly services, and there was one particular one that I went to, and I remember a person went up and he shared this message about how God has sent His Son Jesus to die for my sins. And I was so struck by that message because I knew not only did I do nothing for Jesus, but I was sure that I messed up a lot in life and I hurt Him in many ways. And I remember after that message, I was just holding my head in my hands and crying, and I had this one question that I kept on asking again and again, which was, Jesus, why did you die for me? Jesus, why did you die for me? And it didn't make any sense to me, so I just kept on asking, why did you die for someone like me? It was at this moment that my heart opened up to the gospel message. But after this camp, I went back home, and life went back to the same way that it was as before. But as I started getting closer and closer to graduation in junior high, I remember having this thought that I achieved everything that people told me was going to make me fulfilled. And even though I had all these things, I still felt so empty. I had a lot of friends, I had good grades, I had a comfortable life. And yet in the midst of all this, I still felt like there was this huge void inside of my soul. And it was at that point that I realized that void was for God. As soon as high school started, I got involved with my Christian club. I started going out weekly, and I remember learning more about God through sermons, and I remember worshiping Him and praying to Him. And at the same time, I started going out to a new church because I wanted a community where I could really grow in my faith. And I remember at this time, I was still having these questions about God, about life, and about faith, and I wasn't always finding the clearest answers. With that, I went to college where I wanted to find a church where I could grow in my faith. I started going out to a church where I was so challenged by the leaders there. Not only did they talk about God, but they lived their lives out for Him. A lot of these guys were full-time PhD students, programmers, lawyers, entrepreneurs, and yet they were spending all of their time throughout the week on us college students, even though there's nothing I could give back to them. And I remember not only was I challenged, but I was also captivated by the lives that these people live. But it was also at the same time that I went to classes where I would learn about evolutionary theories and how life can make sense apart from God. And I started having these questions about my faith. And there's this one class that my church offered that really started providing clear, biblical, reasonable answers to all these questions that were in my mind. And it was through this course that I learned that not only was there a possibility that God might exist, but there was a greater possibility that He does exist, and life only makes sense with Him in the picture. And so it was in junior high where God opened my heart to the gospel message. It was in high school where I started growing, having more questions that were just deep inside of my heart and in my mind. And it was in college where I started finding that there were these reasonable answers to the questions I had. So that's a summarized version of my journey into faith. If you have any more questions about my life or my story of how I came to know God, please comment them below. I intentionally didn't want this video to go too long, but I would love to share more about my journey with God. If you enjoyed this video, would you do me a favor? Would you make sure to subscribe? Also, would you hit the notification and the like button? Thank you so much for watching this video, and I can't wait to continue journeying with you guys. God bless.